Good evening. My name is Patrick Delivanis. I graduated in 2000. My experience on September 11th began around 9 a.m. when I stepped out of the subway, the Wall Street station, which is about a block south and a block east of the World Trade Center. It was, I guess, maybe a little bit before 9. As I stepped out of the subway, there was a very, very large crowd standing basically in the middle of the street, looking up at the World Trade Center, at the first tower of the World Trade Center. I asked someone what had happened. I looked up, there was a big gaping hole and a fire in the first tower of the World Trade Center. I asked someone what had happened, and they said a suicide jet. I had a hard time believing that at first. So, I don't know what I thought. I guess I thought it must have been some mistake, some accident or something. But there were fire trucks attempting to get through, but there were so many people that they were having a hard time coming through. And as we were all looking up at the fire in the first tower, we heard a really loud roar, and basically saw the second plane as it was sort of turning. We saw the bottom of the plane as it was turning, and we saw it basically slam into the second tower right in front of our eyes. The amount of debris that started falling and paper and so on made everybody just panic and start running as far away from the World Trade Center as possible. A lot of people tried to seek shelter underneath some scaffolding and some construction that was in the area. Some people were successful, some people weren't, and it was just pretty frantic. For a couple minutes I wasn't quite sure what to do. And then I decided that I was going to go to work to see what was going on there. And the building I work in is, I guess, 2 blocks east of the World Trade Center. So I make my way over there. The building is being evacuated, but I see the manager of my division getting into the elevator and going upstairs. So I get in with him, and the moment he walks into our floor, he instructs everybody to leave as soon as possible. So people start leaving. As I was looking for a phone upstairs, I work on the 21st floor, looking for a phone to call my sister who's in Boston, to tell her that I was fine, and to get her to call my mother who lives in Egypt and to tell her that I was fine. But I didn't have time to do that, so as I was getting in the elevator, I get through to my sister in Boston on my cell phone. And the only thing I have time to tell her basically is that I'm fine, and to make sure that she calls our mother in Egypt and tell her that I'm fine. But she didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what had happened. But I didn't have time to tell her because the elevator doors were closing. So basically, we evacuated the building and started walking outside towards the South Seaport, which is further east. I was walking with a friend of mine, another analyst who I work with, down towards there. And then about halfway there, I look at her and I'm like, maybe we should just get in the subway and go home. And she seemed to like that idea. So we turn around and walk back towards the World Trade Center. At this point, it was, the 2 buildings were on fire. So we walked all the way back up Wall Street, and I get into the subway, which is, just a couple blocks from there. I get into the subway. The subway comes right away. There's, it's not that packed. The people that are getting on the subway are they're not doing too well, basically. But the people that are on the subway already don't know what's going on. So they're very confused. It takes me 15 minutes to get home, which is on 86th Street on the Upper East Side. I get out of the subway. I actually live on 89th Street, so it's 3 blocks from the subway. And as I'm walking from 86th Street, the subway stop to my house, one of the doormen on that street says, I hear him over, talk to someone. I hear him say that the South Tower just collapsed. I turn to him and ask him, what's he talking about? I was just there 15 minutes ago, and he tells me, well, turn around and look, and you'll see. And you actually got really lucky. So I turned around, and I couldn't see much other than smoke. And that was basically the extent of my experience. My mother finally got through to me after half an hour. She wasn't doing too well either because she hadn't been able to contact me for a while. I spoke to everyone I knew, and I mean, the one thing that I take back from this experience, and just from talking to everybody here today, and for the last 6 weeks, is that relatively my experience was really trivial compared to what a lot of other people, both here and in New York, experienced. And I guess I did get lucky, but I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about the people that were there. I'm in the class of one of the alumni that was a victim and that didn't make it, so I knew the girl pretty well. So it's difficult, and this kind of forum definitely helps talk about the experience. Thank you.